sample has
sorry,
poker
yeah.
chips?
Pardon? Your
Do you
uncle?
really need them?
I do want them, but I wonder if the dollar store has poker chips.
Even that, it would end up, I don't know.
We could use like
How many you need?
sequins.
Nobody has poker chips at home, you know?
No.
I think I have somewhere, but probably not.
Alright, I need
Wonder.
200 and I gotta make 60%
Talk to Zach.
of them
Talk to
red.
Zach Cockerham.
They have poker chips.
He has everything.
Okay, I'll ask him. So, suppose I do that one day. I bring in 200 poker chips and 60% of them are red. And I ask you to draw out 20. So if that holds true, the 60% of 20 would be how many chips? If I gave you 20, what's 60% of 20? Can you do that in your head?
12.
Very good. All right. So,
Can we play poker?
no, but we might draw chips.
But we can't.
So, if I
Is
gave
there-
you 20 to draw out of the
Yeah.
hat of my 200, do you think you're going to get 12? Because 60% of them are red in the box. But when you draw 20, will you get 12?
No,
Will you get near 12?
probably.
All right.
Like 10.
So what we're going to do is do a dot plot, and we would expect, because the laws of probability say we're expecting 60%, some of you are going to get 0.6. I'm going to ask you to do this probably 100 times. So some of you are going to get 0.7, some of you are going to get 0.5, so on. So, but when you finish, when it's all said and done, the rules of probability say it's going to be centered around 0.6. So I'm supposed to
So like this?
demonstrate that. Pardon?
I thought it'd be just like,
Normal curve.
oh, never mind. I was thinking never mind.
Normal curve. So
Forgive me.
I'm supposed to do that with chips, but I don't have any. So if we do, we'll try it and see if the rules of probability are all they're cracked up to be. So let's go on. So the rules of probability tell us that our random sampling is reliable, but what causes our surveys to not be reliable? We started that yesterday. What were the two kinds of bad sampling? Allie put them up on the board.
I'm not really sure, but the second word I'm probably going to
Okay, we'll get help.
This is mine.
What's the first one? Voluntary, that's right. And so what's another bad way to sample? Right, you got them.
I just wasn't sure how I was going to spell them.
Yeah, very good. Spelling, yeah. Well, I'm not any better on that. You're probably way ahead of it. From your reading yesterday, some groups are left out. What's that called? Anyone recall from your reading what's that called?
Undercoverage.
Yes. Would you fill it in, please? Under coverage. Yep. So some groups are left out. For example, if I make a survey by calling all the numbers in the phone book, who is left out?
The ones that aren't in the phone book.
Right. And why aren't you in the phone book? Why? How could you be on this planet and not be in the phone book?
I have a phone.
Okay,
You don't have a
yesterday
phone,
you
or what else?
yes. Yesterday you said that was a non-sample.
Yeah. Would you change that?
Wait, what?
Little details.
It's a sampling error, not a non-sampling error.
Oh.
If you would change the line, the sampling error, that should be on
Mm, it's not the
sampling error,
change error.
under coverage.
It changes everything.
Some groups
can't
are
see it.
left out. All right, Caleb.
What did he say?
It just said, I don't, it said stay away from the green jello.
Why are you left out if you're not in the phone book? For one thing, you don't have a phone, but what if I have a phone and I'm not in the phone book? What's that called?
I don't know. What even is it?
Unlisted.
Unlisted, that's right. What if you are 16 and you don't haven't got a phone yet? So, there's lots of reasons why you're not in the phone. Or is your age,
Tragic.
are you in the phone book? If you're living
No.
with your adult parents, you're not in the phone book. So, lots of reasons. So, if I do a survey by phone, I'm going to leave some people out, and that's called under coverage. It is a bad sampling error. Would you change your notes from yesterday and put under coverage under sampling error instead of non-sampling error? All right. My mistake. What if I
So we-
change it? I said, okay, forget the phone. That's too complicated. I'm just gonna go to your houses. I'm gonna go up and down these streets. I
But
made
still
a
it's in
cluster.
Houses.
What?
What if they don't have a house?
All right. What if you're in prison? What if you're a student and you're at school? And
Sometimes
I
that's all you
What
care
if
about,
you're
though.
you forgot about prison.
homeless?
What if you live in a dorm? What if you live in a dorm? So, under coverage again. So be able to identify when under coverage is taking place. All right, from your reading, do you recall what it's called when some people can't or won't respond? What's that called?
Non-response.
Non-response.
Would you please fill it in?
Yes.
Non-response. So, if you come to most people's houses, guess what? Nobody's home. The lights are on and nobody's home.
Or they're just acting like beanbag chairs.
They're what?
Pretending to be beanbag chairs.
Yeah, that's right. They just aren't going to answer the door. So that's called non-response. Or what I do when people knock on the door is I won't respond. I say, would you like to fill in a survey? No. Goodbye.
My grandmother one time acted like she was deaf when Jehovah's Witnesses came to her house.
That is a typical non-response. I'll remember that one.
Well, it wasn't a
That's
survey, it
I'll
was
say,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
I can't hear
These
you.
people, like, from the government that are trying to do surveys.
Yeah.
They never care about our
They
house.
do not accept this non-response.
No,
Because they're probably their pay gets docked.
we don't.
All
Which is
right.
good, I mean.
So give me an answer to this. Suppose I come to your house
Is there
60 times and you're not home, and I did a random sample and I chose your house. So suppose that I get sick of coming to your house. I said, I'm just going to go next door, even though that wasn't
That's
part
wrong.
of that's not the random sample. So that's a sampling error, so watch out. Let's go on. What if the person gives the wrong answer? What's that called? Do you recall from your reading last night? What's it called when they do?
Lying?
I never understood how they could, like, give the wrong
Deceit?
answer. Because it's
Untruthfulness?
just whatever they answer with is randomly, is their random answer.
Like the thing in the comic, and he's like, I love this data.
Yeah. Like they said, I love messing with surveys. Some people,
I would do
especially
that.
young people, you
I
get a
would do
call on
that.
the phone, you make up this ridiculous answer. So that's called incorrect response.
How do you know?
So, another thing is,
It's true, right?
if you ask people this question, what are they typically going to say, whether it's true or not? Have you been to the dentist in the last year?
Yes.
You're
Or like
gonna
the parking ticket one where no one's gonna say they had like all these
go
tickets.
through the red light, right?
I was surprised that many people actually said it though.
Yeah, I was like,
What was it, like last 10 lights you went through, one of them was red? Like, I can imagine somebody saying, okay, in the past year I've ran one red
These
light.
people
There's a
are
new
under a
bell
lot
any day
of
except
stress to
Wednesday.
get
It was
the
the beginning of
one.
all the last
Okay.
nights I've been at, I
I
haven't.
can imagine people maybe admitting, like, in the past year I've run a red light or something, but like,
Yeah.
one of the last.
All right, so
Like,
we're
then
dancing
a lot of
around
Go on their way
this
home.
incorrect response. So you might lie because you know you should have went to the dentist and you meant to go to the dentist, but if you really look at your calendar, you didn't go to the dentist in the last year. So sometimes you give the wrong answer because you want to have the answer that's politically correct. What's another
Social.
incorrect response? Like you're just messing with the survey person, definitely. What if you have a strong belief on an area?
Against dentists?
Like what?
Against going to the dentist?
Yeah, no,
No,
another
I mean
type
against the
of thing.
survey?
Like suppose that someone says to you, do you believe that you have witnessed women being paid less in your workplace than men? And
Oh.
see, if I believe that that's an issue, I'll say yes, whether I really have seen it or not. So your beliefs can, if you have strong opinions, they could affect your response. And the last, more bias, I didn't know how to, it can come from the way you
Wording.
word the question. So we'll call it wording and order.
Oh, like the leading question.
Right. I know when the surveyors come from the census to the whole United States, it's a book of questions. It's like, I don't know, 10 pages of questions. And by the end, I was like, I don't care, you know? I'll answer anything, just get out, you know. So the order of the questions, definitely, the first question is gonna get more accuracy probably than the 100th question that you ask somebody. The wording, give me an example of a leading question that's, the wording is leading the person to a certain response.
Is it true that?
Right, is it true? What else?
We should.
Yeah.
In light of. That's all I was gonna say. Those are my only words.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, in light of the recent, like, increase in global warming, do you think that we should do something about global warming?
Right, I know, that's like totally leading question.
We should eat cake, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
And
were
then
the homework yesterday, were all of them slanted? I
Everyone
haven't
likes
read it.
cake.
Almost
Do you think that people like
We
cake?
are actually at the point now that we can look at that, so let's do that. All right, let's turn down the video. We're just gonna go over the homework and be back for another session.
Goodbye.